One of the nation's most prominent watchdogs against hate groups faces federal criminal charges for allegedly helping fund those hate groups.
Yeah, the Southern Poverty Law Center has been hit with an 11-count indictment alleging the nonprofit secretly funneled millions in donor money to the very extremist groups it publicly condemned. Newsmax crime correspondent Jason Matera has all of these details. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning, Mark and Charlotte. So first, just to put this into context, the Southern Poverty Law Center has drawn conservative rebuke for years because they branded mainstream outfits like the Family Research Council, Alliance Defending Freedom, and even Turning Point USA as extremist organizations. The criticism has been that the group stopped chasing real hate and instead started slapping that label on those advocating for traditional Christian values. But in a plot twist no one saw coming, the Justice Department alleges the Southern Poverty Law Center was the one funding the actual racists.
The SPLC is a nonprofit entity that purports to fight white supremacy and racial hatred by reporting on extremist groups and conducting research to inform law enforcement groups with the goal of dismantling these groups. As the indictment describes, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred.
In fact, authorities say the Southern Poverty Law Center paid at least $3 million between 2014 and 2023 to individuals tied to various fringe groups.
These individuals were affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan, United Klans of America, National Socialist Movement, Aryan Nations-affiliated Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club, the Nationalist Socialist Party of America, Nazis, and the American Front.
Among the most damning allegations is that the group funneled $270,000 to an organizer of the infamous Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's the white supremacist march where one person was killed and numerous others injured. This recipient of money, per the indictment, helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. That's the same rally, by the way, that Joe Biden pointed to as the reason he ran for president in 2020, saying that we were in a battle for the soul of our nation. But if these allegations are true, it turns out that this threat to the nation was partly financed by a left-wing nonprofit. Now, to keep the scheme running, the Justice Department says that the organization spun up fake companies to route money to field sources of these hate groups.
They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud.
The Alabama-based organization now faces 11 counts of wire fraud, false statements to a federally insured bank, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. For its part, the Southern Poverty Law Center denies the allegations and says it will vigorously defend itself. Mark,
wow,
Charlotte?
What a remarkable turn of events. All right, Jason, thank you.